going on, Legion? Azrael here, like always, and for this is, I guess, going to be a thing for anybody that hasn't seen episode 6 already. Yeah, so let's just get into it, check it out, see what it's all about. I know it's good.
Death is the enemy.
All right.
The first enemy and the last. The enemy always wins. And we still need to fight him.
Where's that lightsaber
You're
at?
scared, aren't you?
Flame saber.
What are you scared of?
Whistle. Oh, it's here. Whoa! That dude's so badass. Run, Jon Snow. The Night King. So I misread this and thought that this was what I thought it was. I didn't think it was episode 6. So I won't get into anything besides how awesome it is about episode 6. First I want to say, when I heard that this was supposed to be the last season, I guess, and that they renewed it for just one extra season, I was actually kind of annoyed. So I finally caught up with Game of Thrones. I watched all the new episodes. I watched everything you could watch. Let's just say it that way. And so now I'm caught up finally. I watched it all one day. It was a good handful of hours, maybe more than a handful. And when I heard that this was supposed to be the last season and that the next season is apparently the ending, I don't know if that's true or not. You can let me know in the comments down below. But when I heard that, I was actually kind of annoyed. Because in the moment, we've had a lot of great moments, the Red Wedding, stuff like that. This person dies, that person's who this person is, whatever. And I'm like, it was all good. It was all good in the moment. But when I look back, I go, it was a big fucking waste of time. All 7 seasons, or 6 seasons, complete garbage and a waste of time. Because you fucking losers over there at HBO or putting on this fucking show gave us so much random garbage that took away from the actual storyline or from the actual meat and potatoes of the story. The White Walkers, the winter time, winter's coming. All this other stuff. There was, of course, arcs in there that were part of the main story and plot building, character building, and relationship buildings and blah, blah, blah. But there was so much like main stuff that I feel like either is being talked about right now in these episodes, and that within whatever is left in this series and next season, if it is the end, I feel like they're going to wrap up the huge bulk of the story like in 15 episodes. And I'm not a fan of that. I would have loved to see a lot of the main story, the main stuff that we all thought was kind of happen a little earlier or something like that, instead of just winter's coming, Jon Snow. Like, fuck off, cunt. And yeah, I would have been like, that would have been a little better, I think. And I don't like when TV shows just go, all right, let's just put as much garbage as we can out there to get as much, seasons as we can and much money as we can, and all right, we're done making the show, well, let's just round up with the final season and round up everything. It's like a bad video game, and I don't like that kind of stuff. As far as season episode 6 goes, it's a great episode, or so I've been told, allegedly. Yeah, and just all the stuff that happens. I'm not really gonna go into any detail or screenshots or anything like that. I'm good. All I will say is that after, and this is no spoiler, I don't think, but this is a hint, a fun hint for everybody else that has nothing to do with Game of Thrones, really. I never made the connection from the White Walkers or the Dark King, or whatever I called him earlier, the Night King. I never made a connection between him and the Lich King from World of Warcraft. Until you see this episode, you'll understand. Go watch that trailer for World of Warcraft's The Lich King, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. For anybody that doesn't know what World of Warcraft is, don't go watch that trailer, because it'll just kind of... It's kind of a spoiler. I'm expecting dislikes just for saying that, because no one even wants a hint to spoilers. But if you haven't watched episode 6 or anything like that, that's kind of your fault, I believe. I had to watch all 5 whatever episodes in one day to catch up, right? And before that, I took the time not to look up anything Game of Thrones, and not to do this, not to do that. So, yeah, if you know what WoW is, and you know the Lich King trailer, then, I'm just going to apologize now, I guess, for ruining it for you. I don't know. I don't really get surprised at this show anymore. The show is just whatever it is. It was very hyped when it first started, but the fact they take like a whole year off and stuff like that, I can't get back into the show every time. By the time the season's over, I'll be like, oh, I want more of that now. But we're in the first 5 to 6 episodes, and right now I'm like, whatever. You took a year off. I got to get back into this kind of quasi fantasy world. I like magic when it comes to fantasy. It doesn't really have a whole lot of it, but that's whatever. So, it kind of sucks to watch all that stuff. I wish that HBO didn't get hacked and all their intellectual property wasn't being leaked. I'm not a fan of that. I would have liked to watch all the stuff as it comes out. It's no fun getting ahead the cheap way, right? But, which I didn't even realize at first. But, it's just kind of how it is. And, yeah, I don't know. It's the show's going good. This season is definitely a good season. I'm liking all the dialogue and all the interactions between, as we saw what looked like strife between Sansa, and I can never remember their sisters, Aya. Jesus, I couldn't remember her name. It looked like there was some kind of animosity between Aya and Sansa. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out and what's going on. And what really is going on. Because are they really fighting each other? Are they really angry at each other? Or, is something else going on? Is it because Jon Snow's away? Because she was made lady of the house? Or whatever's going on? What's the real reason why they're at odds? And what's that going to mean in the future? Is there going to be some kind of... Is she going to speak up and then maybe become the next, try to overthrow Sansa? That'd be kind of crazy. Before Jon Snow can get back, and then the lords are split, and then all of a sudden it becomes like a 3-way thing. That'd be really insane. I can't wait to see what happens. God, I was just yawning. Sorry. Ooh, I'm really interested to see what happens between Targaryen, Khaleesi, gives a shit what her name is, and Jon Snow. Are they really going to go? I thought in the very beginning that they were similar heights. I always thought that maybe something could ever happen between them, but that was like season 1 when I saw all the people. I go, maybe that'll be a thing. I think what I believe is they're going to do a hard tease to maybe them getting together, but then it's not going to happen. I think that's what I think is going to happen. I think there's going to be. I honestly don't fucking know. I think maybe because he's considered the king of the North, and that is a rebel insurgency, because there can only be one king. It's the Warden of the North, and they call him the King of the North because technically they're succeeding because Cersei is Hitler. But it'd be really interesting to see, because the Khaleesi thinks that she is the rightful, the supposed, she is the only ruler. She's supposed to be the ruler of that realm. Which I personally, if I was alive in that era, I would personally disagree. Your bloodline doesn't mean shit. It's whoever won it is the rightful whatever. And your father was a piece of garbage, which means your family's a piece of garbage, which probably means that your blood is just as full of crazy as his was. And so I really wouldn't be maybe on her side completely. Or that's how I would look at it for anybody that seems so entitled like she does. But since Cersei is technically the queen, and everybody's like, F that, the North is its own kind of thing, which I haven't really noticed. If that happened last season, I don't remember it at all. But if that's kind of what's going on, they elected the king, so that's what I assume is happening. To reunify the realm, I think that they're going to get married. He's a king out of no birthright, but he's the king because the people elected it, and she's the supposed queen. Maybe to reunify the realm because they're breaking off because Cersei, like I said, is, the living embodiment and the second coming of the Holocaust, pretty much. Yeah, she is genocide incarnate, for the most part, and all kinds of fucking crazy. So maybe to unify the thing. That's my theory. My minor theory that's a very iffy possibility is she doesn't recognize him, I don't think, as the ruler. But he technically, I would, because the North is like, F all you guys. F everybody in the South. You guys follow that crazy bitch? You're no kinsman of us. And so he's the king of the North now. And maybe to reunify it, they'll put it together. I don't know. I think that'd be a really crazy story. But I don't know. Either way, that's my whole thing. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. I don't want to ramble on too much longer. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Like the video, like the content. You can always like, subscribe, share. Remember, it's completely up to you. I do appreciate it, though. And, yeah, you want to leave a comment down below. Love to see all the comments. Yeah, I don't know. I hope my hint didn't go too far. If it did, sorry. But, it's a wild episode, man. Somebody told me that one of the episodes, I think it was episode 5 or 6, 4 or 5, I think was a filler episode, but maybe when you watch everything at once, it doesn't really feel like a filler. I think the opening episode with, Ginger Mick, Taylor Swift friend over here, I was just like, that was completely pointless. I skimmed through that whole interaction because I didn't want to see Ed Sheeran's face or hear his voice. And I don't care what I missed. It could have been the most important plot of the entire series, of all series. I still would have skipped it and then read about it later. Yeah, so I don't know. I think that all the episodes have pretty much been pretty... I think if you have to wait a week to watch it, yeah, that kind of sucks. That maybe an episode was more of a letdown. But for me, I watched all the episodes in one sitting for the season, and I liked all of it. So, yeah. Either way, I'll see you later. Peace.